If you're tired of these promos, supporters get the podcast early and ad-free. Just go to donate.bogosity.tv for the links to sign up. Welcome to the Bogosity podcast for the week of January 17, 2021, the podcast that's straight out of Compton. This is your host, Shane Killian. Let's ethereify the news of the bogus. More stupid crap about California and its response to the COVID-19 pandemic, which has gotten to the point where many California businesses are openly flouting the rules. While indoor dining is perfectly fine for the great and the good like Governor Gavin Newsom, the state has now determined that even outdoor dining is bad for the peasantry. But many are doing that anyway, such as Notorious Burgers, whose owner Brian Gruber said, quote, "I have to support my family. I feel like these small businesses staying open are in the same boat." These other businesses not only include restaurants, but gyms, massage parlors, and even tribal casinos. And the people are defying stay-at-home rules and various non-essential activities businesses continue to offer. I mean, what are they going to do? Close them down? That's what they're faced with anyway. We covered before that 60% of the small businesses that were shuttered by government order in the country are never coming back. That was confirmed by Jeff Kasha, who owns the diner Rudford's. Quote, "I don't think we can survive another shutdown, so we have to defy. We didn't have Christmas. I didn't buy my kids presents. Rudford's has been open since 1938. It's reprehensible that the government would drive out of business an establishment that's been open for more than 80 years. According to the California Restaurant Association, thousands of restaurants had closed permanently as of last August. 1 million restaurant workers had been laid off or furloughed since March. But Orange County District Attorney Todd Spitzer whined, quote, "It is unacceptable for a business to repeatedly flout the regulations and continue to operate without even attempting to institute any mitigating measures that are designed to save lives." He then clutched his pearls and went off to unbunch his panties. San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria spewed that they need, quote, "stronger enforcement for those blatantly and egregiously defying local and state health orders. Failure to comply with any of these provisions of these orders constitutes an imminent threat and menace to public health, and is a public nuisance and imperils the lives or property of inhabitants of the city." Not as much as you do, sunshine! One way or another, coronavirus is not going to last forever. The damage you people are causing to real lives and families just might. If you're looking for ways to support this channel, but you don't have any spare cash and you can't stand advertisements, you can do so by generating your own cryptocurrency. Use the links at the bottom of the description to listen to the podcast and all of my videos on bittube.tv or lbry.tv to get cryptocurrency for the creator and yourself. Or if you listen to the podcast at the podcast page, you'll also generate crypto. You can also go to airtime.bogosity.tv to get the airtime extension and generate crypto for yourself and the creators on the web anywhere you go, including my YouTube channel. Get 5 tubes free just for installing the extension and signing up, and then simply browse the web as normal. Easily monetize your favorite creators and yourself with cryptocurrency without advertising on bittube.tv or lbry.tv or with the airtime extension at airtime.bogosity.tv. So in our review of 2020, we mentioned that Biden was continuing the tradition of the revolving door of politics. Despite the fake news industry screeching that Janet Yellen's disclosures of receiving big speaking fees from major corporations and industry groups isn't newsworthy, it turns out many of these same companies and groups that paid the former Fed chair, now set to be Biden's Treasury Secretary, have been lobbying that very agency. According to propaganda outfits like MSNBC, the $7 million she made from the speaking fees in 3 years was market value, even though the majority of that money came from the same companies and trade groups that have been lobbying the Treasury Department for the last 2 years. Citigroup alone paid her $1.1 million for 6 speeches between March 2019 and October 2020. According to her ethics form, she was also paid by companies like Citadel and Goldman Sachs. But the form didn't even mention others like Swiss bank UBS, who paid her $112,500 for a speech in January 2019. If that's market value, then how come these former officials and prominent journalists always get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for a talk that the rest of us wouldn't even make 4 figures for? This is buck-raking, plain and simple. Yellen has made millions from the very firms that will be lobbying her when she takes over the Treasury. There is no way that isn't a conflict of interest. Liberal pundits smacked down Politico for daring to report on this, but it isn't the only case. 2 other Biden cabinet nominees have done the same thing. Anthony Blinken, his Secretary of State-to-be, has been consulting at the secretive West Exec Advisors, which Blinken co-founded, with the very companies that have an interest in the State Department, including Boeing, Blackstone, Facebook, and the pharmaceutical company Gilead. Blinken has also served as a partner at Pine Island Capital Partners, which invests in defense, government service, and aerospace businesses. Other partners include a lot of former officials and congressional office holders. Then there's Avril Haines, Biden's nominee for National Intelligence Director, who was paid $180,000 by data mining company Palantir, longtime crony of the intelligence community. They gained notoriety years ago for trying to spread disinformation about WikiLeaks and Glenn Greenwald. They've also been sued for everything from fraud and conspiracy to racial discrimination. They've also been in constant partnership with ICE, which was the big evil under Trump. Understand, these people are not being paid for their knowledge, experience, and expertise. They are being paid for their access to the president. As corrupt as the Trump administration was, it pales compared to the Obama administration, and the Biden administration is shaping up to be every bit as bad, if not worse. If you're on the Wi-Fi in a coffee shop or hotel, anyone on that network can get your traffic. Do you really trust all of those strangers? For that matter, do you really trust your ISP? A VPN can protect you from prying eyes, disguise your location, and even foil government censors. It's essential in this day and age, so go to vpn.bogosity.tv and you'll be taken to BoxPN. Starting at just $2.99 a month, you can get unlimited high-speed connections to VPN servers all over the world, and they don't log connections, so your privacy is assured. Traveling abroad, just VPN home, and don't worry about what those other governments are doing. Back at home, stop your ISP from traffic shaping and messing with the quality internet access you're paying good money for. You can connect from multiple machines at once, including your smartphone or tablet, and it supports all the secure standards, including OpenVPN and SSTP. Bypass censors and surveillance with your own secure VPN connection. Go to vpn.bogosity.tv. So there's a new Congress in town, and before their new savior is even inaugurated as president, it looks like they're working to bring back all of the bad legislation from years past that never got fully implemented, including the Earn It Act and the PACT Act, which seek to eliminate Section 230 as well as require government backdoors into encrypted communication. This at a time when private encrypted communications app Signal is seeing unprecedented growth, to the point where they're actually having connection issues as I write this, something I haven't experienced with them before, and I was with them before they were Signal, back when they were tech secure. The people want privacy, so government is going to do everything to make sure they don't get it. We also have the bipartisan SISEA, or the Stop Internet Sexual Exploitation Act, an anti-porn bill based on the sensationalist and false claim that Pornhub is rife with rape videos. Even Pornhub's recent purge of every video uploaded by a creator who wasn't verified hasn't seemed to stop it. So let that be a lesson to all you web hosts out there. Don't go thinking you can appease the gnomes. They are not doing this out of genuine concern. Other bipartisan acts like the See Something, Say Something Act and the Online Content Policy Modernization Act seem ready to reemerge as well. Although these acts legally died on January 3rd with the passing of the old Congress, the new one seems ready to reintroduce these, and even ones that are far worse. Here's a prediction for you. With politicians on both sides of the aisle vowing to make opposition of both Section 230 and online porn a priority, then free speech, privacy, and the ability to compete with big tech are going to take a pounding. Do you have children, or nieces or nephews? Are you homeschooling, or just want to counter some of the socialist indoctrination most children get in school? If so, go to Bogosity.tv/TuttleTwins, and you'll be taken to a website where you can get some great books for elementary-age children. The Tuttle Twins books are books about liberty and free market economics that include children's versions of Bastiat's The Law, Leonard Read's I, Pencil, and Hayek's The Road to Serfdom, as well as books about the Federal Reserve and how regulations protect business cronies. They'll learn about the harm caused by eminent domain, or regulations passed in the name of safety, and fundamental concepts of liberty. And as you can see from the sample pages on the website, they're all easy to read and nicely illustrated. They're just $9.99 a piece, or get a special discount as well as free bonuses when you purchase all 5. You can even buy in bulk to donate to schools and local libraries. So get the Tuttle Twins books at Bogosity.tv/TuttleTwins. And now it's time to bitumenize this week's biggest Bogon emitter. And this week it goes to our former hosting provider GoDaddy, and we've never been more glad that we left. Amid the big news of the deplatforming of sites like Parler, slipping in under the radar is GoDaddy's deplatforming of AR15.com, the biggest gun forum in the world. They tweeted on the 11th, "ARFCOM is down. We've been booted from GoDaddy and are looking for an alternative solution." On Friday the 8th, and why do they always do this stuff on Friday? They received an email reporting content that needed to be moderated. Although they didn't say what that content was, they did confirm that they removed it almost immediately. But that didn't stop GoDaddy claiming they violated the terms of service. According to President and co-founder Juan Avila, quote, "On Monday, January 11, 2021, I received notice from our site registrar that AR15.com had violated their terms of service and that AR15.com will be shut down immediately. The registrar's decision to deplatform AR15.com was final, and no method to appeal was offered." It remains unclear specifically what content allegedly violated the registrar's terms of service. When the Federalist reached out to GoDaddy, the registrar replied only that the site, quote, "both promotes and encourages violence," without providing any examples. As of a video posted on Friday the 15th, the site still hadn't been told what the infractions were supposed to have been. For something like 10 to 15 years, GoDaddy had never brought up any complaints about them, and the shutdown came out of left field with no warning and no way of correcting or appealing or even finding out why. Their site's terms of service is very much in line with GoDaddy's. They don't allow violence or illegal activity. They had already been policing the very code of conduct GoDaddy had alerted them about. They are now using Epic as a registrar, who are apparently very pro-First and Second Amendment. It looks like everything is back up and running, although I did notice their certificate is from Amazon, who of course just deplatformed Parler. Hopefully they won't revoke the cert and have the browsers give visitors a security warning. Maybe a move to Let's Encrypt is in order. So all of that makes GoDaddy this week's biggest Bogon emitter. I want to tell you about the eyeglasses I've been wearing for years. As people can see on my videos, I have a very strong prescription, which makes glasses more expensive, especially when I need computer glasses, reading glasses, prescription sunglasses, and most expensively, progressive lenses for general everyday wear. To save money while still getting quality glasses, I get them from Firmoo. In fact, I just got a pair of progressives with high-index aspherical lenses and a nice pair of frames my wife loves for just over $100. It would have been $500 to get them through my eye doctor. Not only do they look good, the glasses are durable. I've worn many pairs for several years without problems. All orders come with a 30-day return policy, a 3-month warranty, and one-on-one customer service. Go to Firmoo, that's FIRMOO.Bogosity.tv anytime you need quality glasses at a low price. Once again, that's Firmoo.Bogosity.tv. And now let's geolocate this week's Idiot Extraordinaire. And this week it goes to the Mozilla Corporation, who you'd think would be big on privacy and the First Amendment given that they make the Firefox browser, but they've posted on their blog an essay that goes against every founding principle they stand for. Entitled, "We Need More Than Deplatforming," the hate-filled, bigoted screed from CEO Mitchell Baker is just one more example of confession through projection. She wrote, "As reprehensible as the actions of Donald Trump are, the rampant use of the internet to foment violence and hate and reinforce white supremacy is about more than any one personality. We need solutions that don't start after untold damage has been done. Yeah, we need pre-crime." Quote, "Changing these dangerous dynamics requires more than just the temporary silencing or permanent removal of bad actors from social media platforms." Which means she's in favor of silencing and removal of people she considers to be bad actors. But as always, the question is, who will be determining what a bad actor is? The CEO of the privacy-centric organization calls for revealing who is paying for advertisements, how much they are paying, and who is being targeted. She also wants to, quote, "turn on by default the tools to amplify factual voices over disinformation." As the leader of a technology company, she should know that there is no algorithm for truth, which means she probably does, which really smacks of ulterior motives here. She claims, quote, "The answer is not to do away with the internet, but to build a better one that can withstand and gird against these types of challenges." But the internet isn't broken. At least it wasn't until her ilk gained control of it. The answer to the problem of free speech is more free speech, not less. The last thing you want to do with dangerous ideas is relegate them to the dark places where they can fester invisibly. This is not how we defeated the KKK, for example. It was by openness, by revealing their information through the Superman radio show, and by defending their right to free speech so they can give themselves enough rope to hang themselves with. In fact, there has never been a single time in history where the repression of free speech resulted in better ideas, not worse, because that's impossible. All people like her want to do is take the actual innovators of new ideas and push them down to where they can only associate with violent extremists, and that never works out well. But you see, this isn't really about fighting violence and hate. This isn't about defending truth over disinformation. This isn't about protecting vulnerable populations. This is about control over others. Control that will be wielded by violence if necessary. Exactly the kind of thing she claims to be against. If anything, we're doing her a favor by assuming she doesn't realize this. Otherwise, she'd be a lot worse than merely this week's Idiot Extraordinaire. Well, that wraps up this darling fascist bully boy edition of the Bogosity podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please go to donate.bogosity.tv for several ways to donate, and discord.bogosity.tv to join the discussion. Subscribe at Patreon or Subscribestar, and you can listen early and ad-free. Thank you for listening. Until next time, here's a quote from John Stuart Mill. "Strange it is that men should admit the validity of the arguments for free speech, but object to their being pushed to an extreme, not seeing that unless the reasons are good for an extreme case, they are not good for any case." The Bogosity podcast is licensed under Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives 4.0 International License. Bogosity. We live in a world where light bulbs connect to the internet, and recent attacks on them prove that your online security is under threat like never before. Not only your websites, but the internet-enabled devices you buy. And the biggest problem is weak passwords. That's why you need LastPass. LastPass allows you to randomly generate strong, unique passwords on the web and on your internet-enabled devices, all protected by one master password. LastPass sets up in minutes and gives you secure automatic logins throughout the web, synchronizing across all your browsers, all your computers, and even your mobile devices, at home, at work, or on the road. It even securely stores sensitive form data, including credit card numbers, backup sensitive documents, software licenses, Wi-Fi logins, and more. And with LastPass Premium, you can get these benefits on other applications, manage passwords for your entire family, and also get priority customer support. Sign up at password.bogosity.tv for a free month of LastPass Premium. Log in securely everywhere using the last password you'll ever have to remember. Go to password.bogosity.tv and get LastPass now.